Hello, guys, and welcome back to MTG with Beast. And I'm your host, Beast. And yeah, we've got a new deck to show you. I know it's been a while, but it's been the festive season. You know how that goes. So, without further ado, let's jump into the deck. And here's our new bad boy. What we are playing here is 5-color control, and as the name suggests, we're running all 5 colors. And the reason, it's the first time on the channel that we are running red, and the only red card in the deck is the Kami War. This thing is a monster of a card. I did try the quote-unquote best card in standard, the Reflection of Kiki Jiki, but I just couldn't find a way to make it work in the control shell. It just didn't fit that nicely as far as I was concerned. Anyway, so the Kami War, you guys know this card by now. It exiles, it bounces something, can be theirs or ours if we need something back. But either way, they have to discard a card. And then the 6/6 just runs away with the game the longer it stays on the board. No matter what they make us get back from our graveyard to our hand, it's just value on top of value. Soul Partition, they don't really want to do that because it's pseudo removal, but it makes their stuff cost more. So we don't have to worry about it for a long time. We just push it back and make it future our problem. Sunset Revelry, that's life gain if we're on the back foot, or creatures, or card draw. They don't generally want to do that. Joint Exploration is more ramp and more card draw. Shugeki, they definitely don't want to give us that guy back. Terra Sunder is removal. Briefcase is more card draw, so any of our 2-drop slot. I mean, Silver Scrutiny also card draw, they don't want to do that. Anything they give us back with the Kami War is just value. Then let's run through the rest of the deck. Titan, you know the Titan, he's just value engine. War Chief, a hasty way of getting to their Planeswalker sometimes. But we do have other ways, like Void Rend over here. All-Star in the mono blue matchup, and it also helps with, I forget the keyword now, but Graveyard Trespasser has it. And we just ignore that because this can't be counted. And then we've also playing Zer because we are running a ton of enchantments that he can animate and give lifelink to, which is important to help us gain some life and get back in the game if we are behind. Leyline Binding is one of those enchantments. It's just a very versatile instant speed removal. You play any 2 of these tri-lands and the thing costs 1, so it's amazing. Kami War that we mentioned is also an enchantment, so Zer can animate that and swing with it if you need to. Then we've got Glorious Sunrise, another enchantment, all-star in our deck. So versatile. It can gain us life, draw us cards, or once we've stabilized, give our creatures trample and get on the front foot, and then we just take over the game with that. Teferi is another finisher that if they leave this on the board, they are going to lose. It's that inevitable. He's just so good. And then the rest of our deck is, we've mentioned some of the ramp with Joint Exploration, but we've also got the Stomper. And then Paragon's just really good at getting back our 2-drop things and our 3-drop things, which I've mentioned already, some of these here. The Celestis can come back. And then regular control things. 40 populates, 3 farewells. Herd Migration is life gain early on, and it helps us fix our lands, which we need because we are 5 colors. But late game, it's just a finisher. 5 3/3s for most decks are just way too much to handle. And that's a deck, so let's see how it does. Let's jump into those games. And it's good to be back, guys. So here we go. Okay, so our opponent is Mob. And then some Asian letters. We do go second here, but we can ramp with a briefcase and the Herd Migration and then Joint Exploration, so it's not all bad. I'm going to keep, it's a little bit risky, but we've got things we can do. I'm going to use the Herd Migration straight up to fetch white. watch our white get that out the way. And then I think binding even costs 1, does it? Yeah, it does. But we're not under a lot of pressure yet, so we don't need to use the binding. We can just try and get to our farewell mana. There's a Celestis, that's pretty good. Oh, I didn't even notice opponent stuck on 2 mana there. That's probably why we're not under a lot of pressure. Hydrating. Okay. Good thing we're racing to try to get to 6 mana then. I mean, next turn we're there already, isn't it? So we can go Celestis now. And Briefcase. We even have Leyland open if we want it, but we don't really want it. And next turn it's a happy farewell to everything here. Yes, play into it more, please. Briefcase of your own. Oh, that sucks. Okay, but he can't play the 5 colors of mana, so I'm just gonna leave it. Leave artifacts and farewell everything else. Yep. Should be good. Should be good. I'll take a little bit less damage for this turn. Next turn, everything goes bye-bye. And then we rebuild after that. Creatures, enchantments, bye. Our briefcase is a little bit better than his briefcase. Opponent makes it to 4 mana. What can you do with 4? If it deals combat damage to a player, return a permanent from your graveyard to your hand. 6/5. Okay, that's impressive, but a good ley line, man. I'm going to play the War Chief, and then I have Leyline as a backup plan. If things go south. Opponent made it to 5 mana, that's pretty impressive. Let's go ahead and block. Ooh, both died. Awesome stuff. And Mob with an easy victory. Thank you, Mob. Okay, guys. So, unfortunately, we had sound issues here. So, I'm going to be dubbing myself over the game for the rest of this video, unfortunately. So, anyway, here goes. I'm playing against Ignar for this one. And I choose to keep because I've got almost all my colors, or at least 4 of my colors in the first 3 lands, and we've got Celestis to help fix the mana. We've got removal and we've got a sweep as well, so this hand really has a little bit of everything. He plays a companion. We could tear it asunder, but it's not really that much of a threat, so we hold off on that and we get our Celestis going. Opponent then comes through with Dokacia's Welcome. deliberate for a bit, and then we end up going with the Stomper. Oh, yes. We thought about the Stomper, but since Teferi has little to no downside and it's the more mana efficient play, we went with Teferi instead. Because even if they kill the token, we figured chances are they can't kill the Teferi with a 1-1. And it looks like it was the right call in the end. They couldn't kill the token. And now Teferi's online. He's going to be drawing us cards and getting us way ahead in this game. We feel like double welcome means that their card advantage would just be a bit too much, so tear one of those asunder. And then we run the Stomper after that to sort out our mana nice and smoothly. And we could make another 2-2 here, but I think we'll just go ahead and draw with the Fairy here. After fetching our white mana finally. Draw.
There is much the past continues.
Swing with our Vigilance token. Opponent blocks. And then he goes to populate, but damage is done here. We play Kami War on the last welcome. And that's it. Igna's seen enough. For our next game here, we've got Lago High, 1988. If that's his birth year, I think that makes him 34. Same age as my wife. So this is a bit of a sketchy keep because we only have 2 lands, and we know that Shuffler likes to punish you if you have 2 lands. But we decide, what the heck, content keep. At least we have 2 tri-lands, so the Leyland's going to cost 1 mana and be available to play on turn 2. And we go first, so what the heck. And we're basically 1 color away from being able to cast Zer, so we had chances, we had outs. And there we go, we draw our 3rd land immediately off the top. Leyland now costing just 1 mana, instant speed removal, it's brilliant. And opponent playing Soldiers gives us something to slap the Leyland on immediately. Get that out of there. And then we decided to play Zer here next because of what we drew. We can just get it back. But they didn't remove it anyway, so good play there on our Zer. Time to activate our ley line and get swinging. Might as well swing with both because we're going to get lifelink. So we can race. Opponent thinks about it for a bit. Eventually he goes with March on our Zer. But now we can save it and then get and recast it and then give our leyline lifelink again. So we do just that. We play the partition on our own Zer. And when we recast it, only costs 3, not 5. Opponent throws his veteran and then thinks about attacking, but nope, instead he's had enough. And for our next opponent, we have Dakalot 9999. We keep this hand because we only have forests and plains, and we only have green cards and white cards, and then Celestis to bridge the gap. So, I mean, it's an instant keep. And also we go first, so what's not to like? Up against mono red. So you know we had to come out gates just flawlessly. Mono red with a perfect 1-2 punch. That's a good draw. That's a good draw, but for later in the game, because it doesn't ramp us right now, and that's what we needed. Almost went with the Celestis there, but figured get the Stomper online and get an actual land into play instead of on the off chance. Mono red doesn't usually play a Braid, but they could do. And then we've literally accomplished nothing with that turn. So at least this way we get guaranteed mana for the next turn. And now we have the Emperor waiting for our next turn as well. So this turn we take probably 3. Possibly more depending on what mono red can do. But our next turn we're starting to look good. Mechanized warfare, so we take 5. Okay. Hard mode. Engaged. Blue unlocks almost Zer. We just need to get the Celestis down and then Zer can come online. But this was definitely a turn to save the Emperor for. Opponent plays Impulse, sure. Land into Swift Spear into second chick. So this is a lot of damage, but Emperor can stop some of it. I remember thinking here, do we kill the 2-2 that's always going to be a 2-2? Or we kill the Swift Spear that has the potential to become a headache later? Ultimately, we went with the Swift Spear because it's just... if they have a hand of spells, it's just a pain later on. So here our play was Revelry and leave over the ley line for, leave open, sorry, the ley line for whatever their most threatening card is. At the moment it's the Warfare, but it could become anything later, I suppose.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
Depending on what they play, their most threatening card could be maybe not the Warfare. Also, I was thinking if they send one of the chicks at our Emperor and we leyline the Warfare at that point, at least we could save our Emperor. The opponent starts with Impulse and he hits Chandra and Play with Fire, and both of those could deal 2 damage each. So we figured with Chandra on the stack before he can activate it and we don't get to respond, just take care of the Warfare now. And then everything deals 1 damage instead of 2, so back to looking good, I guess. Take 1 from the Chandra.
Let's bring things up to a simmer.
Opponent could have dealt with the 2/2 blocker that we have, but chose to go for the Emperor instead. I suppose both are good options. We block his 2/2 with our 2/2. And now we only take 2, thanks to no Warfare. So this turn was, look at Shuffler trying to use our blue mana. Nope. Use all the green, play the Celestis, and now we're able to cast Zer. And then if Zer survives this next turn, then we get the Leyline on board and everything looks good. Mono red usually can't race a 6/6 with lifelink. So the opponent thinking there, if he can just get rid of Zer. But that usually does take them 2 burn spells or
I'm a little hot-headed. So what?
a block and some burn spells. And with Warfare, yeah, I was thinking maybe. But if you could burn it for 3, Warfare means that's a burn for 4, so he kills it. Okay, he played a spell, so that shows he doesn't have any burn left. So this was an easy block. Then we take 4. And now we go to work with Zer. Animate the ley line. Animate the ley line. Take out Chandra. Swing Chandra for 6. Nice, thanks opponent. So we swing Chandra for 6, puts us on 9 life. And we get the Stomper. Fetch another land, and we are 1 untapped land away from casting the Titan. Opponent comes in with the team and gets the new chickie involved. So that block is easy, the 1-1 against his 2-2. But here we had to decide, do we want to take out one of the chicks? Or just block the 3 points from the bigger chick? In the end, we went with just blocking the bigger chick. We're on 6 land now, so any land drawn wakes up our stompers, and boom, there's the land drawn. So we play that land. Stompers are active and online. Titan, this is obvious. Destroy the enchantment and gain the 5 life. Puts us on 11, and I don't think the opponent mono red can't take this anymore. Back with everybody except Zer. Gain 6 life, opponent on 6. And yeah, that's the game. Not much he can do from here. Applaud him for trying to keep going, but I think both of us knew. He says good game. The writing was on the wall, and he's out of here. So for game 5, we're up against either Zordor or Tordor. I don't know what this guy's name's supposed to be. Mordor. We start with a hand of green and white cards and no green and white mana. Shuffler doing shuffler things. So, easy mulligan there. This hand looks better. But we have to choose between getting rid of Sunset Revelry and Soul Partition. We choose the removal spell because if we happen to be up against mono red, the Revelry is better. So we just go with that decision. Turns out we're up against Grixis. We go with the untapped land on turn 2 so that we can channel our herd migration. Fix our mana a bit more. That's exactly what we do here. Herd migration. We go with one of our domain colors, so we go with black. We decide here to, instead of playing the Stomper immediately and getting it maybe counted, rather just exploration on his turn, and then if that gets counted, then we have the Stomper. But the opponent comes through with a Corpse Appraiser, with no creatures in graveyard, so just a 3 mana 3/3, that's awesome. We go with our exploration as intended. We find a Paragon and a Briefcase on top. We wanted the mana, but those are some good cards, so ultimately we decide to keep those. Pop the land from hand onto the battlefield for now. Untap, and then we use our Stomper to just continue ramping. And yeah, that's good enough for now. Finish our domain with getting the mountain. And now any herd migrations give us 5 tokens, and also any domain, we've met the requirement of 5 different basic land types, so Okay, they do go for the throat on our previous stomper, but we have another stomper here. Decide not to play the Revelry, even though we could, because it would do nothing here. Both players with one creature, 20 life, and he's got less cards than me, so we hold off on that for a bit. Opponent obliges with go for the throat on the stomper and then Appraiser on the same stomper. But what this means is now he's got 2 creatures, 4 cards, and more life than us. So now that Revelry is looking really good. We play the land, which puts us on 5 cards. We play the Courier's Briefcase, which puts us on only 1 creature and 4 cards. And then when we do cast the Revelry, all 3 modes are unlocked, and that's awesome. 2 1/1s, 4 life, and we get a card off of it. So that's cool. Opponent continues with his beatdown plan. We go for triple team block on one of the Appraisers. It's worth it even if they play the removal spell here. They have cut down, which kind of sucks. We'd have preferred like another go for the throat, but it's fine. At least that's out of the way now. They play land. They play Fable. And while it looks bad, it's not the end of the world just yet. We get another stomper, but I think at this point we decide to go for Paragon into the stomper that's in our graveyard. And the reason for that is we don't want it to be appraised. Or is it the Ravager, the other thing that eats creatures from our graveyard? We'd rather just get this out of the way now. And then if that stomper, the one that we just played, dies, that's an extra 2 life that we get because we use the Paragon to play it. So it's just a win to rather get that phase of the game out the way. The opponent with the all-out attack here signifies that he probably has some kind of sweeper, but regardless of that, we just go with a block. Block on both of the Appraisers. We'll deal with the Goblin later, unless he really does have a sweeper, then he'll deal with the Goblin on his own, so that's fine. Either way, it's no longer a worry of ours. And there it is. There's the sweeper, Brotherhood's End. Takes out our creatures, but like we mentioned, the Stomper gives us 2 life, so that turns pretty big win for us, a pretty big swing. Here comes Sheldred, and all we have in our hand is card draw, but Deluge doesn't actually count as drawing cards. It's look at the top 4. Choose to put those in your hand. It's not drawing. So obviously go with Farewell here. And then as nice as a Titan would be, we do need to do it to do the Farewell now while he's tapped out. So we choose to go for the untapped land instead, because we could play the Farewell, but then we'd have to crack our briefcase, and we really don't want to do that. That thing is card draw just sitting there waiting. So we have to take our draw step, because that was, we deluged in upkeep. Play the untapped land, play the Farewell on creatures and enchantments, and then the opponent has 1 card left. So we're looking pretty strong here. Creatures, enchantments, go. We are looking pretty strong here. Of course, just at the right moment, opponent with Invoke Despair, 6 damage, 3 cards, because why not? Why wouldn't they just draw the perfect card? And they follow that up with 3/2 Vampire, but we have a Stomp of our own. We fetch our planes. Instead of cracking the briefcase, we go for Deluge here. I believe we do this. Yep, there it is. And though we do need life gain, we don't have any in those top 7 there. So we take Deluge and Zer, because Zer might be life gain somewhere down the line, even though not immediately. 3 cards plays 4 cards. Opponent with, of course, the second Invoke Despair. Just back-to-back invokes. 3 damage from the vampire. But we're not out of this yet. And there it is. The ley line. Now costing 1 thanks to our domain. Trade that on the vampire. We play Deluge. That's a good draw. Glorious Sunrise, and has to be land, I guess. Play the Sunrise, at least that gives us 3 life for now, so if we see a third invoke, at least we won't die, because we get 3, go to 6, and a third invoke would force us to sack an enchantment, but then we'd only lose 4 life instead of 6. So there are chances here. And of course, there's the third invoke, because why not? You see me smile there because Shuffler is fine, isn't it? But okay. We sack the Leyline because Sunrise is just too good of a card. It can just, it's so versatile. It can get us out of this hole that we're in. Second Harvester there, so we cycle our land just to see if we can find something useful. Another Binding is awesome. The Harvesters now with 3 blood tokens, so they can kill pretty big creatures. And while we want to play this clue, I mean we want to crack this briefcase for card draw, we decide that getting the Leyline onto the field now is better, because then when we play Zer, it doesn't have summoning sickness anymore and it can attack immediately, and that life gain is way more valuable than the card draw that we could get, or at least that's how we see it. So we go with this play. There's some life gain if we need it from the herd migration. He plays a, we animate, and we didn't think of this play, but opponent has cut down at the ready, so that switches off our life gain, which kind of sucks, but okay. Might as well animate the Binding as well. At least that's a swing for 11. So there goes our enchantments are still creatures, but they don't have lifelink. But the Sunrise still gives us 3 life, so that's something. We decide to go for 11. Leaving the opponent at 6 here. And us at 5, so we can kill him on the crackback. He can't kill us with his attack. That was our thought pattern there. And we do have 3 life in hand, just sitting and waiting. If he thinks he can somehow get us 4 Xaxes, he really can't. Forgot about this play, that the Blood Tithe Harvester actually has 3 blood tokens, so it can take out my 6/6. I did clean forget about that play, but okay. There's a Fable. Opponent cracks a clue looking for something, anything better than cut down. Does he attack? He doesn't attack, which leaves us open to scrutiny for 3 there. Oh, and what a 3 cards that is. We don't really want to cast Depopulate, but all of the others are brilliant. We decide to just keep gaining 3 life. Just get our life total looking nice and healthy. Opponent with a cycle there. And we attack because we almost want them to chump block this guy. Or team block him, sorry. Opponent sees through that play though. Blocks with a goblin. And we aren't going to forget about the Blood Tithe Harvester and the 3 blood tokens this time. So we decide to just get rid of it now with a Void Rend. And now we're actually in a position where we can hard cast the Herd Migration and put pressure on the opponent to draw something that matters with his next top deck. He gets a second look due to Chapter 2 of Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Harvest is not going to do it, so he draws. He does still have the blood tokens to dig deeper and see if he can find a way out of this. Cracks 1. The bounce land's not going to do it. Does need a sweeper here. Tries with the 4th invoke. And while that does get rid of a creature and an enchantment, and 2 life, and draw a card, it still doesn't answer the 4 3/3s here. So he plays a 2/1, 1 mana open. I think he knows that's it. Draws a Fable, which isn't going to help. Good game, opponent. Good sport, good game. And he's out of here. And this takes us to the end boss. We're up against Minato. This hand is really all about racing to farewell, but we do have some ramp in joint exploration, so we decide it's a worthwhile keep. Rewarded because the opponent doesn't appear to be playing aggro. We haven't seen this card before, but we do a quick read. The mole makes us realize that he's probably playing Reanimator on that one with the multiverse. But other than that, I mean, the 1/4 is not that threatening, so we go ahead and get the other tapped land on the field so that that's over with. It's all untapped lands from here on in. Take the pecking from this little 1/4. take the damage again. It's not that heavy. Go with the joint exploration. Sander's Lounge on top reveals another tap land, so and the Paragon, while not good now, we thought about putting it at the bottom. It's not good now, but it gets good later as the game goes on, so we decided it's a worthwhile keep on top. And we just keep playing lands. 1/4 is not that threatening, so we just let the opponent do what the opponent does. He goes with mending. We continue to take the pecking. Here comes a Guardian. So we decide to deluge first. See if he counters it, and if he does, we've got Farewell to clean up everything. He decides not to, but the Courier's Briefcase and the Stomper look amazing. Especially now when paired with a Paragon that we said wasn't useful now, but will become useful later. Well, it's useful now. Stomper. It's not often that you play a Stomper and it's immediately an active 4/4, but that's exactly what happens here. We play the Stomper and immediately we have a Vigilance 4/4. Against white-blue, that's a powerhouse. We could go with a Briefcase here as well and then leave up Partition. But we decide against it because when we play the Briefcase, we want to draw 3 with it. So we decide against that. And it turns out that's immediately rewarded because now we can use the Partition on their creature. And since they only have 5 mana, if they play it for 4, that's their whole turn just to play a 2/2, which not that threatening, and then we can farewell it all away if we wanted to. There's the Reanimate that we knew was coming, but now he's tapped out. Except for the one untapped mana. Opponent plays a second Archaeologist. This time not mulling anything of great value. We scan the library to see if our farewell needs to hit graveyards as well. But there's nothing really important down there. And we want to recast our deluge to fill the hand later if we need to. For now, it's just creatures and enchantments. Get those off the board. We realize here that we could have sacked the clue and then said artifacts too, but it's not that big of a deal, the Power Stone at the moment. It might be later, but we trust our deck. Give give us the answers. Opponent cashes in that mending. Gets rid of a reanimate, but I think that's mostly because there's nothing currently to reanimate. Still, weird choice. Maybe he's got another one. We just draw. We crack our clue, draw off that. Keep the mana flowing. Time for a suitcase here. And we'll just leave it sitting there to draw 3. Ooh, the Cityscape Leveler. He tries to get our briefcase, but I mean, we can just crack that and draw a 3, so... Ooh, and what a 3 it is. Not really a great play there from the leveler, but I mean, what else was the opponent supposed to target? The 1/1? That would be equally painful. So we go ahead and exile the leveler with our Palmy War. And now he's really on the back foot because we can next on chapter 2 we can bounce the Power Stone and make him discard a card. We go ahead and cash in Joint Exploration here. We don't need more Revelries, but the Deluge is good. But the opponent has seen enough. And that's going to do it for this one, folks. I hope you enjoyed our speed run up the Diamond 2 ladder there. We went 6-0 on this one. Yeah, it's good to be back, and I hope you enjoyed the deck. Hope you join us for the next one when we take on Diamond 1. And yeah, let's see if we can get to Mythic with this thing. So, until next time, this has been Beast Out. Bye.